Today, let's get started with Merab sends a message to Sean O'Malley. Heading into his upcoming rematch with Sugar Sean O'Malley, Merab knows that the former champion is hungrier than ever. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. After losing his title and undergoing hip surgery, O'Malley has been open about the fact that he's been training for this fight the way he wishes he could have for the pair's first fight. As Tabishvili explained in a video for Aljamain Sterling's YouTube channel, it's all or nothing for the former champion heading into this weekend's rematch. I know how hungry he is. Either for him now, either everything or nothing, because he lost a lot of things. He made lots of changes, and then I know how bad he wants to come back, and I know how, he used to be champion. He have everything now. He's like out there, and he like lots of people doubted him, and now I'm sure he's super motivated. He will go like a risk and stuff like. During the video, the two teammates talked about the first Merab O'Malley fight, where Sean landed a clean teep to the body in the 5th round. According to Aljo, it took him a second to realize that Merab was actually hurt, because the machine used to notoriously pretend like he was hurt by body shots in training. Because in training, sometimes we'll hit Merab to the body, and then sometimes he'll fake that he's hurt. And he'll sell it. He'll sell it so good. I remember the first time I seen him do it. He pretended he was hurt and made a face. And then the guy came, our partner came, ran after him. And then he just comes back and starts laughing and bouncing around. I was like, that was the funniest thing. So when that happened, I was like, is he joking? Is he joking? He actually got him. He got him. I was like, boo, 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 boo. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I haven't done this for a long time, but yeah, I was doing in my spotting. Yeah, you're right. Because I learned from Derek Ruiz. Yeah, remember he got hit and he was about to go down. They knocked. I forget who was Volko. Was it Volko? Yeah, Russian. Yeah, Volko. Yeah. He knocked him off. And then I was doing every time somebody even touch or do something. I was okay. Ahead of this weekend's UFC 316 card, we also want to give a huge shout out to the champion for watching our channel. During the first UFC 316 embedded episode, Merab was filmed watching one of our daily videos while getting ready in the morning.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Paddy Pimblett not interested in Arman Tsarukyan fight. The streaking Scouser responded to Tsarukyan's call-out, calling him, quote, an absolute tool.
With Fight Night right around the corner, the MMA community is excited to see how things play out. Arman Tsarukyan compares Islam Makhachev and Khabib. When Khabib Nurmagomedov retired following an emotional submission win over Justin Gaethje in 2020, the door was left open for Islam Makhachev to step into the spotlight. The way Arman Tsarukyan sees things, Makhachev reaped the rewards of Nurmagomedov's legendary career. However, when comparing the two technically, there's no comparison. During a recent sit-down with Kamil Gadziev, Tsarukyan praised Makhachev for being an incredibly complete fighter, while discussing how the pound-for-pound king benefited from Khabib's greatness. Khabib's name was behind him. He beat Bobby Green and got a title shot. Yes, he was strong, and no one wanted to fight him, but Khabib propped him up and helped him. Everything that Khabib earned kind of passed on to Islam, and it was much easier for Islam. But if we're talking technical excellence, Islam is without a doubt on a different level. Islam is the 2025. If you look at Khabib's striking technique, how he kicks or boxes, they are two different things. But the pressure, wrestling control on the ground, and breathing are Khabib's strengths. But overall, Islam is on another level. If Khabib is level 9, Islam is level 10. On top of leaving 155 with more title defenses than Khabib, Makhachev will, of course, have a chance to further his legacy by capturing welterweight gold and joining an elite group of 2 division champs. UFC updates. As we eagerly await this weekend's UFC 316 card, let's take a look at today's UFC updates, starting with the change to the UFC Fight Night Nashville card in July. According to Marcel Dorff, the previously scheduled fight between Atiba Gauthier and Robert Valentin has been shifted from the Nashville card to the UFC 318 card in Louisiana the following weekend. Next up, we have 2 updates on the UFC Vegas 109 card on August 9th, which is expected to take place at the Apex. According to Marcel Dorff, Alex Perez and Steve Erceg will throw down in a flyweight bout. That'll see Perez look to bounce back from a loss to Tatsuro Taira last summer, and Erceg look to snap a 3-fight skid that most recently saw him lose to Brandon Moreno back in March. According to the UFC, that card will be headlined by a middleweight fight between Roman Dolidze and Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, with Dolidze looking to build on a 3-fight win streak that most recently saw him defeat Marvin Vettori, and Fluffy looking to build on a 7-fight win streak that most recently saw him defeat Brendan Allen. Last but not least in the way of UFC fight updates, we got a bout between Karine Silva and J.J. Aldridge, set for UFC 319, as Silva looks to get back in the win column after a loss to Viviana Araujo, and Aldridge looking to build on the win over Andrea Lee back in March. Reinier de Ridder sends a warning to Robert Whittaker. After picking up just his 5th win of his career by TKO or KO against Bo Nickel, Reinier de Ridder wants Robert Whittaker to know that he's entering their upcoming fight in Abu Dhabi as a striker. During an interview with Homa Fight, RDR sent a warning to the former champion. He's very explosive, very fast. I think if I could put a pressure on him like I did to Bo, I think I'll make a good chance here. I'm a striker now. So yeah, jiu-jitsu. With the 185-pound title on the line in August, RDR also shared his thoughts on Khamzat Chimaev as a title challenger. While Boris has long been viewed as one of the most dangerous contenders in the division, RDR thinks that there are fighters who pose tougher challenges than Chimaev, like Nasruddin Imavov, who sits on the brink of title contention himself. French guy is very complete. He moves very well, very relaxed and smart when he fights. I think that might be a harder fight, but Khamzat is, of course, a great fighter. If he manages to get a win over Robert Whittaker at the end of July, we could see RDR enter the middleweight title picture. Kevin Lee is suing the GFL for defamation. Since the GFL postponed their inaugural shows indefinitely, many of the fighters who were supposed to be fighting with the promotion, like Kevin Lee, have gone on to sign elsewhere. Despite that, as Lee revealed during an appearance on SiriusXM's MMA Today, he's suing the GFL for defamation and extortion. These last maybe 12 months, we were in pretty heavy talks with the GFL. They were supposed to be the new startup promotion. They were supposed to be the next big thing, and I got behind them pretty good. The talks were great, but there was no action behind it. I can't speak too much on the situation because now we're going through legal. I'll be suing them for some defamation, for some extortion. I think they use guys like me to get out there and be a major face of the MMA promotion business. Nothing ever came from it. As Bloody Elbows Alex Bahunin pointed out, given that the GFL folded because they didn't have the financial backing they promised, even if Lee winds up successfully suing the now defunct promotion, he may have a tough time collecting. Fortunately for Lee, he's now signed to a multi-fight deal with the PFL. Former UFC fighter not happy with UFC releasing him. After Jairzinho Rozenstruik's fight against Sergey Pavlovich, Big Boy was criticized by Dana White for being too timid. While he and several other fighters who shared the same locker room all cited paint fumes as a major reason for why they were off inside the octagon, Rozenstruik was released by the UFC despite being 3-2 in his last 5 and entering his fight against Pavlovich on a 2-fight win streak. While speaking on the Ariel Helwani show on Monday, Rozenstruik explained that although the UFC was good to him for many years, the way they cut him was dirty. I had a good run with the UFC. The UFC wasn't bad to me. The way they cut me was dirty. But as I said, if there's no need for each other to work together anymore, then we gotta move on. I can't say nothing bad of the UFC. As Rozenstruik revealed, the news of his release hit the internet before he even knew about it. And to make matters worse, he still isn't quite sure why the UFC released him, given that he entered the Pavlovich fight on a 2-fight win streak that saw him pick up wins over Shamil Gaziev and Tai Tuivasa. Israel Adesanya received advice from Georges St. Pierre. Israel Adesanya has had to endure some significant setbacks in recent years, following his meteoric rise to become one of the biggest names in combat sports. Recently, the Last Stylebender revealed he continues to receive great advice from someone who knows what it's like to face adversity, the legendary Georges St. Pierre. As this video is being produced, it's not known when Adesanya will fight again. On account of the soon-to-be 36-year-old's loss to Nasruddin Imavov in February, there are a lot of open questions regarding Adesanya's status and future. But while talking with Sean O'Malley recently, the former middleweight champ reported that GSP advised him not to force anything. And also, funny enough, GSP is like my genie in this game. Whenever I need him, he'll just pop up randomly out of nowhere. And man, he gave me some good advice because he's been there, done that. He just told me, you know, like the last time I saw him was in Saudi, but before that was in Austin, Texas, randomly. And then, yeah, he just gave me some really sage advice about, like, you're old enough, you just, when you want to, if the hunger not there, don't force it. That it'll just force it. Just like let it come and let it build up. And that's why now I've had my first sparring back, and now it was a pleasure to do it with Kamaru. Straight away I got the itch on life. St. Pierre certainly knows a thing or two about taking a hiatus, as following his controversial victory over Johnny Hendricks in 2013, he took a lengthy break from fighting, even though it agitated Dana White. But based on what Adesanya said about getting the itch to fight again, it doesn't sound like it'll be too long before Izzy is back in the octagon. Tom Aspinall says Jon Jones is retired? This week, Tom Aspinall announced some major news, revealing during an appearance on Good Guy Bad Guy with DC and Ciryl Gane that Jon Jones is retired, and it's time for everyone to move on. While fight fans have been waiting on word from the UFC regarding the heavyweight title picture, Aspinall took it upon himself to announce that Jones is retired and the division is moving on without him. Why are we still talking about Jones? He's retired. He's done. I said a thing a long time ago, and you guys know me personally. I'm not a disrespectful guy. Yeah, you're not. But I said a thing a long time ago that I'm gonna retire John without even fighting him, and that's what's happened. As he went on to explain, we move on. I'm the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to take on all comers. Get this division moving again. Those guys have been waiting around for too long. The contenders are getting sick of it. Everybody's getting sick of it. Even the fans are getting sick of this stuff. So John's retired, and it's time that we move on. Aspinall then followed it up with a post on his Instagram story, wishing Jones well in the retirement. Want to be the first to wish John all the best in his retirement. Let's get this division going, UFC. While Aspinall did not announce who his next opponent will be, he revealed that the date and location for his next fight are set. You guys are going to see really soon. I'll tell you something, I've got a date and location. Although Aspinall is ready to move on, Ariel Helwani believes that there's still a chance of the fight coming to fruition. As he explained on Monday's installment of the Ariel Helwani show, do I think Jones versus Aspinall is 1000%? No, they probably would have moved on, but again, they don't need Tom yet, so they don't have to move on. Is it trending in the right direction? No, obviously not. Chael Sonnen also made a guest appearance on the show, sharing his thoughts on the fight. Tom's gonna fight and he'll get his request that the Undisputed will be up. I have a very hard time imagining that John is gonna walk away from $40 million. I know that you can hurt John's feelings on Twitter, and he'll change his whole outlook just for those 10 people that did it. But the real guy in there, that's a dirty, grimy competitor. I think John's a bad and I do not think Jon Jones is walking away from anything. Despite all the talk of Aspinall moving on, Jones seemed to indicate that the fight is signed. In response to a fan who asked about the status of the bout during one of his seminars in Bang Tao, Thailand, Jones said, "The UFC, I and Tom, we all got a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. They're one of the biggest organizations in sports, and right now, Tom and I have agreed to wait for the UFC to make their announcements, so I legally cannot really talk about it. With plenty of conflicting information, there's no telling how things are going to play out, or when we'll get an update from the UFC." Tom Aspinall versus Ciryl Gane, targeted for UFC Paris? UFC Paris was announced earlier this morning. It's convenient timing with Tom Aspinall going on an interview yesterday saying that he is moving on from Jon Jones and that Jon had already retired. Plus, he has a date and location already for another fight. And before we continue, we have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day. Now, with the UFC announcing a Paris card in September, and with the already existing rumors of Tom possibly fighting Ciryl Gane next, this all just added fuel to the fire. However, it is important to mention that this is a fight night card, so the chances are low, but not impossible considering Gane is from France, and it would be a massive card for Paris. And to add more fuel to the fire, Tom Aspinall also trolled his fans this morning about a massive announcement he had planned a few days ago, making a skit joking about it. Here's the clip. Massive announcement incoming. Mate, what are you doing? I'm just announcing something. Massive announcement. You won't believe it. It's massive. Do you not think they'll think that you're announcing the thing? Yeah, I'm just announcing Fight Club. The biggest announcement you have ever seen. Look, Nate, honestly, you know what happened last time? People got carried away with this. I think this is a bad idea. The biggest announcement I've ever made in my life. Ever. I can't believe it. Oh my days. The fight in the century. No. Use your speed, stick and we were behind you all the way. Bro, yo. Hey, bring it. Come on. Here's some reactions from the MMA community. Don't you dare put Gane versus Aspinall as the main event. I can't imagine it's anything other than Aspinall Gane for Undisputed. Aspinall is going to KO Gane in Paris. They're going to make Aspinall versus Gane for the belt. Watch. Convenient post this just the day after Tom said this. Dana White, make it happen. Should Tom Aspinall give up on Jon Jones and go fight Ciryl Gane at UFC Paris? Or should Tom just wait a little bit longer to see if Dana and the UFC can convince Jon to fight again? Let us know in the comments below.